Hey friends, my name is Megan and welcome to episode 36 of a Naughty Mess Knitting Podcast. Hi everybody, happy Thursday. It is Thursday, April 11th. I've got to say, having the whole weekend non-podcast related was really nice. It's not that I don't like filming, I definitely do. It's just like I have such limited time. I either have to get up really early, do it during baby nap, when sometimes I'm like in the middle of doing stuff, or we've got chores, or someone needs to go to the store or whatever, or have to do it late at night on the weekend. And not that I don't also have to kind of do that during the weekday, but like I'm already scheduled and I'm already going to be in this office. This is where I work all day, so like it's whatever. It is early here. I am probably, like, you're going to see the camera angle change a little throughout this episode because I didn't get up quite as early as I needed to. I'm going to start my work day at some point. I'm going to come back and I'm going to film a little at lunch and then I'll probably be done. But it will probably change. So, whatever, it's fine. Hopefully I don't get too many Slack messages. I'm on the West Coast. I'm outside of Seattle, as most of you know. But the company I work for is global, so like sometimes I get Slack messages just at 5 in the morning or the middle of the night, or but I get a lot of pings starting like 6. That's when the East Coast team starts working. I don't look at them, but like I'm up now and I'm just like I don't have my work computer open, like not on Slack. I'm not on Slack. Okay. I'm not worried about work, so let's get on to the fun things, the knitting things. I have a regular podcast episode for you today. So for everybody coming back, thanks for joining me. I'm so excited to be mid-April. I have a couple of things to talk about this episode that are normal. FO. I do have one. Whips. I don't have any acquisitions. Spinning. Books. And the thing I want to talk about is everybody keeps putting out these episodes, which like I don't have tons and tons to share because I'm on an elongated like list I have from forever. But I do want to talk a little bit about spring intentions and my moving into summer knits. Like, what do I want to do? Am I going to be making sweaters? That kind of thing. So let's get right into it. I don't know what you guys are drinking today. I hope either it's I don't know what time you'll be watching this, a lovely glass of something delicious or a nice hot beverage, which is my preferred just like all the time. But I am obviously drinking coffee today. And I drink more coffee than I definitely should, but as is mom life. Okay. So I have a finished object. Let's talk about what I'm wearing first. Things. I did not pull this up, so give me 1 second. Okay, so I am wearing something that maybe looks familiar to a lot of you. I realized like yesterday, I still don't have a grid picture of this. So I'm gonna wear it today. I'm gonna put up a grid picture. Actually, probably today, because I do have the Skyline Tee release on Saturday, and I'm not gonna double post. I might do like a Friday, Saturday, but like that's a lot. That's a lot of posting for me. But this is the Leith Cardigan by Rebecca Clow. I finished this back in January. It was maybe like my first thing I finished or my second thing I finished. I made the size 5, which is a 49.25 inch bust. I'm just about out that when I like actually measured. The recommended ease is 1 to 4 inches, so that's right in range for me. I made this using 4mm needles for the body, 3.75 for the ribbing, and I think the button band was also 3.75. I can't remember. I don't have it written down. And I used Sorella Classic Worsted for this. The base is 100% superwash merino. It's 218 yards for 100 grams, and it's like Mrs. Patmore's Kitchen, Warm Glow, and Magic. And this is a Downton Abbey color. This is Holiday 2021, 2022 maybe. I got them from the D-Stash Discord, so I don't know. That's my conjecture. What I did for this is sort of like Rebecca's first sample. I did one color on each side, And then I have my cuffs. So I ran out of yarn. I had full skeins of these, but not much overage. And I knew I wanted my cuffs to be separate. And I was like, oh, maybe I could micro stripe the arms, but like, there's no way. I would have made it part of the way and run out of yarn. So that's the information I have for you. Okay, let's talk about, and I love wearing this. What I will say is after making my calm down cardigan, I wish I'd have to go back and really think about where to, but this is a really boxy fit drop shoulder, you know, so the calm down cardigan also drop shoulder, but it's made with a saddle. It's got short rows in the collar though. And I think the thing is that like this doesn't have any short row shaping anywhere, and you could definitely add it. It's a little harder with the stripes. If you were doing a plain color, it'd be a lot easier. Just add like a couple right in the back shoulders, which would help with fit a little. I like the fit. I don't have a problem with it, but I do think sometimes the collar like will sit up, and it's not even that it's stiff, but I just think it would benefit from like short rows in the ribbing, or the double knit button band, which Lily Kate does. I did this as a sewn on button band, which is what Rebecca says in the pattern, but I definitely think it'd be very easy to do this one as an applied. And if you did math, like just figure out the wears. I think, you know, if you had a pattern that has them, you could just like look sort of and drape it on yourself and put some pins and then just add a little bit of short rows. And they greatly improve the fit of the button band. Like I love wearing my calm down cardigan. Okay, that's all. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to obviously go back and do anything, and I think it's fine. I'm not annoyed by the fit or anything. I just think it would be even better if that was a fit in it. Okay. I have an FO here for you. So I finished something that sorry, I sneaky peeked you. I did not think I'd finish. I also didn't need to finish it this week, though I did want to finish it as soon as possible so I can get it back out in the mail, and I can take some pictures actually today and at least put some on my stories for anyone who is interested in buying from Backloop Yarn Co. Erin is doing her summer release on the 13th, which I think is Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So that's the morning here in the Northwest. But you can go in, you can grab any of her summer linen blend yarn. She has like 9 or so colors. I don't remember how many. A bunch of colors. And she dyed just a limited quantity of all of them. So that linen yarn is a small quantity batch. So you can get enough to like make tees in a couple colors. That would be really fun, or color work, something. Anyway, and then she is going to open a pre-order for these colors on regular basis too. So if you're not like a linen wearer, you don't maybe like the silkiness of it or something, but you like her colors, which she did such a good job with her color inspo photo, and then like really getting, you know, colors in all of those, like from those inspo, the palette. It's very summery and it looks just like what I thought it would, and that's very fun. But that's going to be available on like regular things too. So if you want it, I'm just saying it's there. It's going to be available on Saturday. And because I did a sample, I got a sneaky peek, and also I already got my yarn, so I don't have to battle with you. Sorry. I actually did not go crazy. I just got enough for a tee. And yeah, so that's super exciting. Plus she has spring sock sets, and her sock sets are so fun. They're all flower inspired things, and I think she did a really good job. I love Hyacinth. That's the one I would have gotten, but I'm like, I've not made a single pair of socks yet, so this girl's on a sock set ban. That's like the one thing I can tell myself, like, that's okay. Until I make a sock set or a single skein shawl this year, I'm just not buying any more sock sets. Which means I'm probably going to cast on socks pretty soon. I don't like rules like that. And it's self-imposed. It doesn't matter. Okay, so this is my sample finished champagne tank. I did leave on, look at it right here. This is where I was last week because I did not wash and block this. I just steamed it a little bit this morning. Erin is going to wash it herself, and she's going to get it, you know, like pinned to measurements and all the stuff. But yeah, look, boop, boop. I have my cute little leaf from Hello Lavender, and I have my completed tank. It's so nice. Okay, so this is the color Sky. This is the last color she released on her grid. It's gorgeous. It's super, super soft blue. Like, the blue is so soft, but it's very blue. I mean, like, it's like got that, it's like a creamy blue. I don't even know. That's like a great color. Okay, here's with the straps and everything. It's so cute. Do you guys like it? I love it. I love the shaping, and I love the ruffle. It's so fun. So as predicted, the body flew by. After this god-awful ruffle, it was terrible, but worth it. I think it was worth it. That's so sad when it's worth it. It is. No, I really love it. And I actually think my mod for doing it made it go so much faster and was way more enjoyable. So as a reminder, let's talk about some details. This is the Champagne Tank by Isabella Clarke, who is 100 Acre Wool. I made this size 3. Let me pull this card back up. I made size 3, which is 37 inches in the bust. I did not mod this other than adding an inch of length before I did like the top triangle portions. I used 3.75 millimeter needles for the ruffle hem, which is what was recommended, and 3.5 for the body. Because I didn't actually do a double knit, I probably could have just done everything in 3.5, but I actually think, like, if you look at the pictures too, the ruffle does have like a slightly bigger stitch look, and that's what this is, and that's fine. Okay, so this linen blend, let's talk about it again. It is 50% baby alpaca, 25% silk, 25% linen, 438 yards for 100 grams, and it's a 3-ply. And the 3-ply is really nice. It's kind of like rounded, which is great. There are like linen-y bits. This one though, I think we talked about this last week, the dye on this is more like, the linen feels more saturated or something than the Horizon Fibers, which looks very tweedy. Yes, this is a light color, but I have a light color from her, and it looks much more heathery, like just in the skein, than this did. And so yeah, here we are. I did just check my gauge again, and I'm like a little confused because, and I mean, it'll fit Erin, I'm sure. And it does need to be washed and blocked, and I think that'll relax the stitches a little bit. But my gauge is already just like a smidge, like 30, I think it's supposed to be 26 stitches, and I'm like 25 stitches across, and 36 stitches, and I'm like 35. So like I was very close, ended up being very close. I don't think it's gonna, because of there's not like tons of stretch in this fabric. There just isn't. There's drape difference. And I think because of that, like, I expected to be 37 inches across. And when I just measured it, I was like, I'm under a little bit. And I'm like, I don't know where I would have made that up. I didn't miss stitches. I have the right count for everything. So color me, I don't know. I'm interested in how it blocks out. I guess that's what I'm going to tell her. I think lengthwise, it'll be totally fine on her. So if she did need to give it a tiny bit of stretch, just so she's not like too stretched in her bust, then I think she'll be fine. So in construction, this is bottom up. The hem is challenging. So let's talk about my mod that I did. The original is to do like a cast on that lets you double knit until you get to this like sort of latticey lace portion. I made a boo-boo. I also then went on the project pages again, and I like read through them. There's not very many. This doesn't have a ton of pattern makes on Ravelry, like 18. But of the ones that had finished notes, I read through them before, but like I was mostly looking for like sizing of needles and stuff, and that wasn't a problem. But I did realize like 4 people were like, ooh, I Mobiused the ruffle, or had to do the ruffle 3 times. I was like, I should have read that more carefully and been really careful. Anywho, it ended up being better. What I ended up doing was the cast on that was recommended, and then it's a provisional cast on. Then I just knit enough stitches one direction, picked up the other side, knit that direction. That's actually what became the outside, and then I just did the lattice and up. What's really fun about this, and you can see the shapes or the stitches are going like diagonally on the front, but on the back they are straight, and that's fun. And you can kind of see, let's see if I can find the line. You can kind of see the line here, yeah. And that is where you do like your decreases, so you can do this increase middle section, which was really fun. And that's, you know, obviously what pulls to the side. And I actually think like it just looks so, I don't know, it looks so like pretty. Like that's like a fun detail to have the stitches sort of move to the side. Once you split, you do like this, the decreases are all kind of the same on all sides, even though it looks different, I think, in the front and the back, just because of like the lead up to them. But yeah, I think that they look nice on both sides. And then when you get to the very, very last part, you just, you know, it's knit. So it almost looks like it's a tube, but it's not an I-cord. It is just knit flat, but because it's a little stockinette thing, it curls, which actually I think looks like very cute. I think if I were to make this for myself, which I'm not committed to the idea of even, and I thought about this because I did say last week, oh, I could do a non-ruffle. I don't think you could, just because of the shaping of this part, right? So you could either do like an I-cord at the end and have nothing and it just being kind of like a more free tank top, or you have to do the ruffle. Like I don't think a regular button band, because of the shaping, would work. And you always are going to have this lifted. That's part of it. Like you add short rows in the back, so the back is pretty flat, but the front stays like this. So I think if I were to make it for myself, which is it's a very sweet top, I would maybe try no ruffle. I don't know. I like the ruffle, but it's not really like I can't see myself wearing it. So probably skip the ruffle. I like all of this shaping. I think that's all great. I think the only thing I would change is like at the decreases, like I would maybe slow them down a little bit so that I could do either a true I-cord, but like I'm a bra wearer. You feel me? So I think like maybe I would want it to be like a gartered 8 stitches or something, like something that could cover a bra strap. I'm not really sure. I don't know what I would do to like true tank tops like this are hard if you have to wear a bra. And if you don't want your bra strap showing, which like quite frankly, I don't have that many cute bras. So like, I don't want them to be like out in the world, but you know, I don't know. Things to think about. But it's very cute. Okay. And that is all for the champagne tank. It's very cute. It's going out in the mail tomorrow. So you guys lucked out seeing it live. Let's talk through a couple of whips. If we go start date order again, I'm going to show you my flower Vortex blanket. I did bring it down. I don't have significant progress, but I'm doing the thing I said I probably wasn't going to do, which is that I will show you my stack of flowers, because I made some really cute ones this week. So here's my progress. I think I had 4 flowers connected last week and I have 6 this week. This is the most arduous process of this. I need to like give myself a little more time to do some of these, the green parts. The most annoying part is actually this row here, which is before the very outside row. The join row is fine. It's this row where you have to do single crochets and then you do this like 3 treble crochets to give you the little leafy indent part. It's what I mean, it looks nice because like otherwise they just look like this, and you need to have that, right? It's what pulls it in, makes it more like the distinct 6 petals. But I'm annoyed by it. But I wanted to show you the shape. So now that we have 6 connected in more like 2 rows, it looks really nice. Like the shape is great. I think that when I connected them, I was like, is my counting gonna work? Is it fine? It does work. It is holy though, so like this side maybe you can see better. There are like, it's like a triangle between each that don't get filled out, but like they sit pretty close together. And they do actually on the front side, like they almost overlap a little bit. So like it's not a big hole. Again, this is not for a very, very baby. She's gonna be 1 by the time she gets it. So hopefully not older than that. Let's get ourselves together. But I have like 10 or 11 that are done right here. So I'm gonna show you a couple of them. My faves. I did tell you I made a ton of purple ones before. I have one that's fully finished that I need to just, I'll be able to connect on 2 sides. And I have all these purple dudes that were done before, some that were like purple adjacent. All of these are like my purple guys. Also, so I went and I did some pink and reds and blues. And these are my 5 favorite from this week. And these are not the only ones I finished, but these were like the majority. I just think these ones are so sweet. I like the white. I need to bring a different white up too. This white is very stiff, which is fine, but like I have more white yarn I can use. And then these ones give me like really soft spring granny vibes. I think it's the yellow. I mean, obviously they have a thing in common, yellow and soft colors, and I very much like these also. So those are the 5 I like the most this week. But now I feel good about having some like to break up, you know, this is pretty even so far. Like there's a mix of colors, but I could add, you know, another light or yellow color and then another red and purple and like not feel anyway. So and you can see the shape here too is not going to be square. So if I do another one here, like I think I'd probably just have an offset rows. So I'm not sure how many across I need to do because it's actually quite wide as it is right now. I have a measuring tape right here and I shall tell you. We're like 20, just about 20 inches wide. Yeah, 19. From here to here. So if we add in this flower, 23. So ish. That wasn't a very good measuring. So I will, yeah, I'll see here. Yeah, 23-ish. So I'll see what I'm feeling. Crib blankets don't have to be very big, like 32 wide by whatever. Obviously, yes, she's still in a crib, but like this is going to be more like a throw at the end of the bed thing. I want to get most of these connected this weekend, or like some of them, so I can build a couple more rows and really get a feel for like what it's looking like. That is what I would like to do. So that is the Flower Vortex blanket. So I am coming right along. It is a long-term project. It is my only crochet project right now, though I'm going to throw on the next baby blanket on the needles, like maybe this weekend, so I can just get it started. That's going to be a thing that like, I think it grows like this. So once I get to the outside rows, it's going to feel really long. So I might as well conquer a little bit of the middle and feel good about it. Also, so I know if I like my color combo. Let's talk about whip number 2 now. Okay. This is my Hayley Sweater by Iris H, who is Iris Makes on Instagram and YouTube. One of so many shirts on the needles. Okay, I don't have tons of progress this week, but I did do some. I didn't get to the point where I felt like it was quite enough to go on. So that's still my goal for this week. I don't want to abandon this, but I am like really excited to work on some of my summary things. But I need to get this done. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of things on the needles right now. I'm over 5. Even getting this one thing off, I'm over 5 needles. So yeah, okay. But we're chugging right along. Here's my cute little matching red owl. My mom got me these little stitch markers, progress keepers, like a couple years ago. Many years ago, I guess, when I told her I wanted some cute knitting things, and she got me that, and that was very cute. Anyway, so I was at like just had connected the underarm. I did like 15 rows, and here we are moving right along. I'm really enjoying knitting the body because I don't have to, it's just all it's easier to predict, you know, like what's going to happen, / I just not having to go back and purl. What I will say is I got used to when you do your purl row, you know, you're not doing any cables. So to like keep track of, especially your diamond increases, I feel like I do have to pay a tiny bit more attention. I'm still marking on my chart. And the nice thing that Iris did for this is she put all these charts in Stitch Fiddle. I have some opinions about this, so I will share them. I believe the actual pattern will have that too, because I'm pretty sure I have the Hayley Slipover, and I'm pretty sure those are also in Stitch Fiddle. If you don't know what Stitch Fiddle is, it's a charting program. It's software that she buys, and then you can, as a person, just like have it shared with you. You can't edit it the same way. I think you could probably make a copy, but then you have to make an account, and accounts are free for just a certain number of charts. I have a free account, and like I'll go in and make a chart sometimes, and then like just if I was making some like Grafgans before, and or like corner to corner blankets, like pixelated pictures, and then I would just download and delete. But the nice feature about having them actually in Stitch Fiddle is that you can use like the progress tracker. So there's a little button that you click, and then it will let me go line by line. Like it highlights the line for you, which is very cool. The thing I don't like about it is that if you are on a different thing, like you go from your computer to, and you can only really do this online, otherwise you just still have to print them. I don't ever print patterns, like ever. But you do have to then go to the website. So if you go from the iPad to computer or phone to iPad or whatever, then you have to go back, and it doesn't say where you were. So you have to like make a note somewhere of where you were. This is pretty easy to find where you are just because of the nature of the diamonds. Like you can look and be like, well, I've got this many stitches before the middle. So like, this is, you know, this is what it is, or whatever. I've only had that like once or twice where I was like, oh shoot, I don't remember where I was. I have to go back and I have to like find where I am. But if you keep the browser open, it's fine. I don't know. I do find it very much faster than me like writing a line through, especially because this is a very long chart. And normally I download things like into my books in my iPad, and then I will like on PDF charts, I will just like draw a little line through. Which is great because it's not, you know, it's not distracting. I'm like, okay, I'm done all of these things, and I change my color by day. It's a whole fun thing for me. Not so with this, but I think that I think it's a really smart way to do it because this is entirely charted. And yeah, moving along, and there's like one person that's done, or she's done everything but the sleeves. Like people are moving on this, even though we have a long deadline. So this is due August 11th. I'm making the size E5. I don't know. I think it's E. And it's 48 inches. The recommended ease is 1 to 4 inches positive. So I am right there. I am using 4mm needles for the body. I haven't even looked for what the ribbing is because I'm just not there yet. My plan for this though, I think we sort of talked about this last week, is I want to get 4-ish inches, like a good chunk, so I can really try it on, and it goes all the way to the edge of my bust basically, so I can like really truly tell how much this fits. Like it'll get to my fullest part of my bust. Then I would like to probably do the neckline and put a sleeve on. Like if I like how that is, then maybe start a sleeve. But I think I do want to do the neckline early, so I really know what the fit is going to be like. Because that'll change both like body length and how sleeves fit. This is Cascade BFL, which is 100% blue face Leicester wool. The color is 09. Also on the website called Red. It's 262 yards for 100 grams. So it's like a nice mid-weight, lightweight DK. Yeah, it feels nice and bouncy. It's definitely very woolly. You know, it's definitely not a non-superwash, and it's got nice teeth, but I think it's pretty soft. So I like it. I love it. I can't wait to do the neckline. This doesn't feel like a very deep V. Not that Iris doesn't have a picture of this version of the sweater modeled, I don't think yet, or not posted online modeled. I think that's true. The tester call was just like the picture hanging on the door. Obviously she has the slip over, so kind of know how that fits. And it has like a relatively modest V, you know, it's not going to be a plunging. So I think that's like fitting where expected. But yes, moving right along, the Hayley sweater. I do think after I get to the point of maybe the neckline done, I will put her down for a wee bit of time to get some other things that are more urgently due done. Oh, I lost a ball of yarn. This is my project bag that my mother made for me. She made project bags for the whole Pacific Knit West group because she's an angel. For Christmas, that I gave out for Christmas with a couple of other things. And this is my dragon fabric I picked out that is dragon inspired for those of us who read Fourth Wing. I wanted this cuter one from Spoonflower, but I didn't order it in time, and then it was already the holidays, and you know, that's how things happen. It's okay. What's next? Computer says next is the Sophie shawl. Sophie shawl is also moving pretty smoothly. It was a lot of progress, actually. I'm matching almost, like this is a complementary. This is definitely a cooler purple, which I really love. Okay, so this is my Sophie shawl, which is a pattern by Meta, who is Petite Knit. I have quite a lot done. Eek. Okay, here you can see where some of my latte colors striping is coming. It's not even. This is hand spun. There, it is not a striped. So also, I can't remember if I have a picture of the braid. If I have a picture of the braid, I'll pop it here. I don't actually have no idea if I do or not. But I spun this fiber, which is from Backloop Yarn Co. in the color Lavender Latte. It is very beautiful. It's 100% Rambouillet. I spun a light fingering 2-strand, traditional 2-ply, and I am holding it double to make this. And I have 2 more sets of increases, like two more little pattern repeats before I decrease. And I think so. I've been measuring kind of like after every couple increase it, like pattern repeats, because I want to use all this yarn. So I want to get to like 99 grams, and then I'm going to go back. I had just under 200. Part of that is what, things that doesn't make it to the bobbin. And then like, I think, that's how much the yarn weighed. So that's what it is. So I love it. It's V cute. This is my progress though. I mean, this is where I was last week. Here is my most favorite of stitch markers. Black 2023. I think I was editing and saw that she had posted, Reshma, this is from Hello Lavender, posted that she was going to be doing a 2024 flock specialty stitch marker. And I was like, I said that last week. I'm so excited. Okay, so here we are. I don't have anything else to say about this. The pattern repeat is enjoyable. It's easy to do. I'm using a counter app on my phone to count the repeats. I have one of those dangly stitch marker things, but I've made myself several of them. The one that would fit on these 5mm needles though, I think I put it in a bag somewhere and I don't know where it is right now. And I didn't feel like looking for it. So you know what? I just went with the app and it's fine. The nice thing about the app is I can also see how many repeats I've done in total, which is pretty helpful. Like right now I'm at like 53. So I'll get 55-ish, which is I think just under the large size. Though this feels like a decent amount of length. Like I'm going to get like an 80-inch wrap from this because this is probably a good 30 something, 40 inches. Who knows? Already I can see this being like the most glorious of winter wraps. That's all. So we'll just keep trucking. No deadline. It's really great for meeting knitting because you're just knitting, so that's great. Okay. What else do I have to say about that? Anything else? No. Size 5mm needles, that's all you have to know. That's the recommended. So nothing crazy there. Let's talk about the wood anemone. I did not make a ton of progress on this. This is one of my Make 12 makes. This is the second of my Make 12 makes. A little behind. I am loving this though. So do I have oh, I do. So here's my progress keeper from last week. Way up here, also a Hello Lavender progress keeper. It's a little yellow flower. It's cute. Okay, so I probably did like, I could tell you 12 or 13 rows, something like that. I do like how the lace is looking. It's looking really cute. I'm very scrunched up here. Also, lace just is scrunched until you block it. There's nothing you can do about it, even if you have like all the length in the world, or all the cord length in the world. So I am still in the middle of the yoke, right? Like I don't have a ton. I think I just did an increase row. Maybe that's the last increase row. Maybe there's one more, like 8 or 10 rows from here. I don't know, whatever the pattern says. I probably still have like 25 pattern repeat rows though of the lace chart. So I really do need to get, I only gave this one evening. So I need to just give this a little bit more time this week. I got really into making those crochet things. Plus, like, I could not put down that champagne tank. I was having the greatest time knitting that, honestly. I don't know what it was about it. Maybe because the circumference is small. But it was just really mindless. Also, mostly a desk knit. So, until I got to the triangles. And then I thought that those were going to take a lot longer on the tank top. But, like, that was, like, super fast. And I was like, wow, this is very rewarding. Okay. That's all I have to show you for that. You know, no big changes or anything. But that is the Wood Anemone pattern by Nordlyn, who is N underscores in there or something, like mine, for on Instagram. It's a size 5, which is 48.5 inches. Recommended ease is 2 to 6 inches. So I'll just be like slightly under that. Also, it just like, then I'm not really worried about gauge that much. Obviously, if it's too small, that's not great. I did measure, it's hard to measure non-blocked lace gauge, but I was not going to steam this even. I stretched it a little and I think it looks fine. Like, I think it'll be totally fine. I don't think I need to like go up a needle size, even though I was like worried I was knitting this a little tight. I think I'll be fine. I'm using 3.5 millimeters for the lace, 3 I used for the ribbing, 3 millimeter needles for the ribbing, and 4 will be for the body. And that I will probably, like, I'm not going to do a gauge swatch and then put the 4 millimeter needles on, but I probably will do like not a ton of rows and just check to see that my stitch gauge is good. I don't care about row gauge for this because it's just going to be to measurements, and I will be able to handle that either way. This yarn is from Backloop Yarn Co. It is the colorway Ghouls in both cashmere sock and, I don't even know where my Surrey is in this bag. My Surrey. The cashmere sock is 400 yards for 100 grams, and it's an 80-10-10, so 80% superwash merino, 10% nylon, 10% cashmere, and it's a 2-ply. And then the Surrey is 74% baby Surrey alpaca and 26% silk, and 328 yards for 50 grams. That's what you have to know about it. Moving right along. I have more balls already wound for this, so like hopefully I will just like smash some of the lace chart this week so I can be done with it. You know, those last like 6 rows of lace chart are, it's the part that makes you want to just give up, but you cannot. It's actually, if you look at the pictures too, the lace depth is not even that great. It's just that like, oh, there's so many, you have to focus on lace, and there are so many stitches. I do have all, but I don't know if you saw this, I'll pull it back up. Between all of my repeats, I do little light bulb markers. I'm not the kind of person who can just, I get nervous, right, about like dropped stitches or whatever. So in between every single little pattern repeat, there are 2 little light bulb stitch markers, and the beginning of round has like a separate color. So this one I did alternating metallic blue and metallic purple, and my starting round is gold. So I know when I have to, you know, switch the chart, but the chart row, but I just like, I need that for counting. I need it just to make sure that I'm good. If I think that I stop paying attention at some point, I can just go back a couple of repeats and make sure I have enough stitches, or that the pattern repeat looks fine. That's what I do. Just so that, you know, tragedy does not strike. And also so that like, if you ever do get to a point where you're missing stitches, you know exactly which part it is, like in which repeat. It's not just like, oh gosh, I'm missing stitches, period. So that's nice. Okay. Let's see here. And that one's been on the needles only like 2 weeks. I mean, I've made decent progress on it. I just need to get past the lace chart so I don't get stuck there. The next thing I have to talk about is my Scotch broom wrap. So last week I told you I was still waiting on the pattern, which or, you know, like had just gotten the pattern or whatever, but I had not cast it on. So I cast it on Saturday. I did wait until Saturday. Actually, like, I did my gauge swatch. I don't know why, you know, I waited till Saturday. It's fine. Partly because, let me tell you, I didn't want to start it because of the cast on, but I very quickly got over that. So this is a Scotch Broom wrap. It's in testing. The pattern is by Abby and Selena, who are Wool and Pine Designs. The test is due May 17th, so I don't got tons of time for this. It's 6 weeks. It is a full top, and that's kind of a tight deadline for a full top, but the sleeves are lace. And yes, I just said you can get stuck on lace land, but I think when the actual circumference of a sleeve is pretty small, and it's a 4 pattern or 4 row repeat for the lace portion, so like that goes pretty quickly, and so I think I'm gonna, and also I really want the sleeves, so I think I'm gonna tear through them. The body's gonna be the harder motion, but so far so good. So this pattern, when I got it, I read through the whole thing. Also because they don't write very long patterns. It's actually something I really like about Wool and Pine Designs, is that there's not tons of fluff, but what they do is they have excellent video tutorials, and they're attached for each pattern. There's like very specific things. So like for the sorrel, there's a whole video that's only for paid pattern subscribers or whatever, because there's a passcode. But if you put the passcode in and it's linked in the PDF, and if you print your PDF, you can just go to it later, or you can even just go into their website, and it's all gated content. So you can see that there's like a collection of videos for each of their patterns, but you can't actually see any of them until you have, excuse me, the password. But for this one, I actually didn't even go and look in the videos yet. There probably is one about the lace chart, but anyway, their video tutorials are great. For the sorrel, one of the ones that they have is like just the color changes, like how do you map it, what if you want to use extra colors, what do you know, and she talks through sort of the mapping, where you'd want to change if you're going to change what they're from their recommendation, which is fine, right? That's this a freedom of doing things, and I think that's really great. Other times there's like how to do this stitch, how to not get you know, jogs and things. And anyway, I think they have awesome video content, so that's really great. But the pattern itself is usually pretty truncated, and I enjoy that. I think it's pretty great. So I gave the pattern a read through. I sent them a note on a couple of notes I had taken just from the read through, and so far the only mistake or whatever I've seen is like one, you know, row count number that I was like, I think this has to be an even. So like that's also great testing experience so far. This is how far I got. Let's see, what else do you have to know? So due May 17th. Oh, I am making a size 5. You guys, I'm almost always making a size 5. Not always, but a lot of times I am. This is 46 inches, actually. The recommended ease is 0 to 4 inches. They don't do public, much public calls anymore for testers. They reach out. So they reached out to me. She sent me the first page, which is all the sizing things. And I sent her a note back and said, hey, I would prefer to have less ease. So like, can I do a 46, even though I'm usually a 47-inch bust? And she said, great. So that's what I'm doing. And I am using the recommended needle size is 3.75 millimeter needles. For fingering weight yarn, they use something that I think is, I want to say it's a blend, but it's like this very similar yardage to what I'm using. But I had to size up a needle. And I think I've heard this even in like their Instagram videos sometimes. Like, I'm pretty sure they're both a little bit like loose knitters, so that makes sense that I would have to, because I'm a pretty medium gauge knitter. Anyway, so I went up to a 4 millimeter needle. Partly I also think it's the yarn, and we can talk about that in a second, but I am using Thistle House yarns. Fingering, they only have like fingering DK. There's not very many options. Anyway, it's just called Fingering, in the color 10 Fathom C. It's 100% 19.5 micron superwash merino, 438 yards, 400 grams, and it's a 3-ply, and that is important because of what I will show you in a second. So, this is how far I've gotten. I just scooched my chair. I am on the back panel. So this is knit kind of like, I don't even know. I don't know what it's knit like. It's a drop shoulder. It's a drop shoulder-esque. It's not even a drop shoulder. It's kind of knit like that though, because you knit across the back panel and then you're going to pick up the front and do those. And that's when you start the V, and then you're going to do like my other wrap top. You just continue increases and then it'll wrap. The nice thing about this is it is going to have I said this last week. I was mistaken on the first episode when I talked about this very briefly. I looked at more pictures, and it is going to have like, it's a full, the hem is going to be the tie also. So you knit quite a lot, and I would say it's probably at least an inch, the hem. So the tie is going to be like real fabric, but unlike my ballerina wrap top where you make a hole and you pull through, this has less of a wrap going from the outside piece, and it ties just on the outside, and the inside piece, which would end over here. So I don't actually know what side it ties on, but I'm going to say the left side. If it ties on the left side, your left piece that swoops over would just have enough to tie. And then your right piece, which would end somewhere, on your right side, will swoop under and come out. Maybe there is a cut. Actually, I don't know if there's a place for it to come out. But regardless, that will happen over there. So you have one kind of long tie and one shorter tie. That's all I have to say about it. I don't know because I haven't gotten there yet. But what's interesting about this cast on is it's an I-cord cast on. I've never done one of those before. And I was like, that's why on Friday night, I was like, do I want to cast this on? And I said no, because I thought that would be using my brain too much. So I was working on something else. But I was like, oh, that's going to be so annoying. But actually it went pretty well, and it looks really nice. So it really just does create an I-cord. Here on the edge, you can see it. And then you do some setup rows, and then you do some short rows. And I love that they do this because I think that the fit is so nice when they do this. There are 2 sets of small short rows. Tori Yu does this in some of her patterns too. So instead of just doing like a big hump across the back, because your neck, your short rows are often raising your shoulders, right? So you don't need to necessarily, like, depending on where you intend for it to sit, you don't need to raise high on your neckline. You may want the neckline to dip under, which is what this will do, which is nice. And I don't think that you don't go back for any kind of like button band, because there is no button band. So you're knitting as you go the edging. So that's also a nice thing about this, is like your back neck is just like this nice little I-cord, and then you'll pick up something that goes on each side of that. I like it. I think it looks pretty, and it looks pretty polished there in the back. And it's much stretchier than I thought it would be too, the I-cord. So it'll be interesting to see. Somebody did ask, like, I think this is the video, like one of the videos they'll be putting in there is how do you pick up your stitches for the I-cord. I don't think they filmed that content yet. I'm not there. But if I get there before them, I might have to like pause for a second. But she did put a note to us like where she picks them up. I am in the midst of the back rows. So I think I probably have like 15 or maybe 20, and I need like double more than that. I don't know. Some amount of rows. Then I do a couple of increases, and yeah, then I will move on to the front. So I am loving this color. I'm really glad I picked this one. I am super stoked to use it. Okay, let's talk about the actual yarn. So I'm going to give you another close-up of this. You can see it is kind of doing that same thing that was happening on my Rocky's DK Pike Place ballerina wrap top. Okay, so Okay. And so if I look at the edge of this, I do actually think, so this is a 3-ply. It is, and you can see here, look how twisted that is. It's very twisted. Super plied. And 3-plies kind of look like that. They always look more rounded because you have 3 of them. It is an S plied yarn, but it's an S twisted yarn. So it's just an unbalanced yarn again. And that's okay. Look, I think in the fingering weight, you can even extra, like, I don't think it's super obvious. I can see it. Like, you can see that there's a column here that looks tighter. It looks like a single column and then like little dashes down it. I don't mind it. And the squish factor is really great with this yarn. Again, I don't mind it. So this is not something that would ever deter me from using this yarn in the future or for ordering this yarn. I really like the feel of knitting with this yarn. It's super bouncy and it's really nice. I just feel like it's an interesting thing to find another yarn out in the world that is just this like S on S. Why? In this case, the Rocky's Decay makes a lot of sense because it's an S on Z on S, right? There's 8 plies, 2 to 4 to 1, and this is really just 3 to 1, and it's an S on S. So it was just a choice. It's just a choice made by the manufacturer or whatever, and the mill, and yeah, it is what it is. That's weird. So let me get a stitch marker. Okay, so that's all I have to say about that so far. It's going well. I'm very excited to get to the front. It is another cardigan, y'all. I said I needed a break from cardigans, and here I go picking up a wrap top, which is basically a cardigan, but it's a top. And it's fingering weight. So like, what am I doing? I don't know, but I'm really excited for this, and I think it's going to be such a good addition to my wardrobe. So don't care. Gonna power through. Also, it's my first time doing a cardigan or wrap top type thing on a testing deadline. So that's interesting. We'll see how I feel about that. Maybe I'll feel like it's too much pressure. But right now, I feel like even getting through this back panel, it didn't take me very long. It's a really good kind of mindless end of night knit where I can just get like 10 rows done without having to think about it very much. And no, it's not a very long deadline, but I think I'm going to try to get like the fronts just done this week, joined. And then I think those long rows, like you just have to put yourself on a schedule. It's not a big deal. You do X amount per night, per week, per whatever to get it done. Okay. But I'm talking to you about a fun thing where this is attached to right now. So I'm sure you've all seen this twice sheared sheep. Maybe did this first. I think did this first of this style. But I went into a local yarn store this weekend. Surprising. No, but I went to go get a Chowgu cable I needed. And I was at the front desk. I was like, I'm not going to even look around at the yarn. I'm just going to go in and get this cable and be gone. And at the front checkout, there was one of these little carousel things, and I was like, ooh, I have been eyeing these, and there's tons that you can get on Etsy for super cheap that have this kind of, it's specifically this kind of hook thing with the fully swivel like little hook. Anyway, so it would allow you to take this on the go, and they're generally they're super lightweight. As you pull your yarn, it spins. Okay, fun, right? Okay, I could have gotten one of these anytime on Etsy or from wherever, but it's all the one from Twice Sheared Sheep that has this little Lazy Susan, which I would not use if I was like going to wrist knit with this because that's annoying, right? Like it does double the weight probably, because there's 2 little plates in here, right? So that they can spin and one can attach to the base. But they had them there at the thing. They're not Twice Sheared Sheep. This is from a local gal called Can Be Crafty, and it's B, and the B is her logo. It's a hecka cute logo. But can be crafty, and you can see kind of here, like there are little bees on my thing. And you guys know I love a bee motif, even though I get stung by bees a lot and I'm not a bee fan in the nature. I'm a big fan of honeybees. I'm not a fan of like wasps, and they look too much like bees, so issue. But anyway, yeah, so here we go. It's very cute. This strap came with it. It's a little bit less expensive than the Twice Shared Cheap one. She's local to me, craft, you know, person making them, and I think that's great. So I was like, I don't need a lot of hard convincing to grab this little gift for myself. So I did buy one. You can unhook this. So when I am knitting with the Lazy Susan, like at my desk or next to me on the couch, I just take off the strap so that it doesn't get like stuck on the yarn at all. Although it's been great and hasn't really done that. I could probably even fold it and put it on. But the hook style is really great. It's super strong and sturdy. Anyway, that's my acquisition for the week. Was a fun gift for me because I'm allowed to. Let's talk about spinning. I have a spin for you. If you ever do watch my Instagram stories, which I don't post a ton of, like a couple times a week, I have been doing some more of them because, I don't know, it's fun. But I started spinning something that has been dyeing my hands blue. Just so badly. I'm going to tell you guys what it is. I have not like blasted that on Instagram. So this is from Twist Fiber Studio, and this was a gift. If you remember, one of my very lovely subscribers, Giselle, sent me a ton of really lovely fiber last year, right after I started spinning, right after I bought my Ladybug, and that has been a blessing. And I have used both things I have bought and things that she has gifted me, and this is one of the gift ones. A lot of what she gifted me is like a single 4-ounce braid for it, so, and that's fine. Which, I mean, of course it's fine. That was very generous of her. But I mean, I'm saying that's like fine. I did a couple of spins recently that are like things that maybe I would use together, and then this is just a standalone. I can't 100% remember if I have ever spun. I think this one was Polworth. This one down here, which is my Godric's Hollow. I can't remember, but this is Polworth. And it's from Twist Fiber Studio, Comb Top, Polworth Comb Top. That's all it says on here. And it's 4 ounces, and it is this like, I'll pop a picture up real fast. But it truly is just a red and blue braid. So here's some of the fiber. This is my last third. So I'll tell you what I'm doing. I want to do a traditional 3-ply. I've not done a traditional 3-ply yet. I've done a chain ply. And I want to see what that's like. Partly I got inspired because Ariel is doing a 3-ply sweater. And also because I've used a couple of 3-ply yarns recently, and I've really liked using them. So I want to see what the experience is to make it and then use it. The trouble is, this is like 4th of July yarn. So like, I was trying to figure out a way to spin it that would be more interesting than just having a giant block of red and a giant block of blue. So I'm doing like a semi-fractal something, which again, when you spin, you can do whatever the heck you want. I split this fiber into thirds for the 3-ply, and this one I just spun that third top to bottom. So in the braid picture I showed you, it's like red, blue, red. That's all of the color change. There's not lots of red and blue changes. That's it. So that's what this one is. This is my final red. This is all the blue, and then there's tons of red underneath of there. And you can see this is, again, my single plies are pretty light lace-ish weight. I think I'm hoping to get a sport weight 3-ply. That's what I'm hoping to get. It could be DK. That would be great, but I don't think I'll even get there. This is where I am now, and I have one more third to add to this. And you can even see the color changes is faster. So there was red, there's blue that I go back this way, and now I've switched back to red. So I took that second third and split that into thirds, and so is a faster color change. So for my third, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but what I think I'm going to do is I don't want as long, I want an even shorter color change. I think that's what will make this most interesting, but I don't want to only have red to start at the top. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this into 6. I think 6, if I can get 6 out of it. So it'll be really small, fast changes. and at least 2 of them I'm gonna invert the changes so that they go blue to a really long red change and then blue. So maybe 3 of them, maybe I'll do every other, maybe I'll do all 3, and then I don't know, who knows? This is going to be a total mystery of what's going to happen. But I do think it'll be like then kind of like a more random change of red to blue, even though having one of those plies be like the really long red to blue change is going to affect the color. I am excited to see what's happening, but every time I spin this, my hand that holds, I draft forward with my right hand, and so these fingers that pinch the yarn and these fingers that hold, like pretty much this whole hand is blue when I get to the blue sections. Blue, notoriously, blue and purple are the 2 colors that most often do not get fully washed out of hand-dyed yarns, skeins, fibers. So I'm not really surprised, and this is a pretty saturated blue, but I don't know what's going to happen when I wash it. If I want to be really careful, I can do cold rinse only with a color catcher and not use any wool soap. My wool soap is not pH balanced, I don't think, so that's why it often will cause a little bit of bleeding in color. Would I be mad if it bled and made some purple yarn? No. Do I maybe want to do that anyway? Maybe. Whatever I do, I'll for sure take a picture of the wound on the nitty knotty, maybe like twist it even into a little skein before I wash it, so you can see what the red and blue looks like before I wash it, and we'll see what the water gods will make happen to our yarn. So that's fun. That's what I'm doing for fiber. I've been having a lot of fun spinning this though. I like working with Polworth. It's super soft. It's just like a really nice feel. It's similar to Rambouillet to me. Like I like both of those. I like the spinning experience with both of those. What I realized I haven't spun yet is like one of my very first things I ever tried to spin was Targhee, and bad news bears. It was way too slippery for me. So I have about 4 ounces of undyed white Targhee that I might spin up soon, but I want to probably use it like to barber pole something. I don't know what. So I've not done anything about it yet, but I'd want to do that with something like similarly weighted and probably spinning around the same time. So I also have been thinking about it with like any of the things down here. Would they look really nice barber poled? I don't know is the answer, or up here. But who knows? Who even knows? Who knows what's going to take over my fancy next? I could not tell you. I think I really, really want to see what this is going to feel like, to see if I'm going to do another 3-ply soon, because I do have that Barbie, those skeins actually are over, or those braids are over there. I have that Barbie core from Erin at Backloop Yarn Co that I got recently that is calling me to do a bright pink spin. And that I'm thinking I'd want to do a 3-ply. All these things to think about. It's so fun. Okay. And if you aren't watching stories from Leslie, who is Knit California, and Rachel is Knitting, they are on their very beginning journey of spinning, and they are spinning in their stories every day. And the Drea Renee Knits always does these like 100 days of whatever things. And one of those, I think there's 100 days of knitting and 100 days of spinning right now. It's just like a thing that you could commit to 15 minutes a day. I have not been doing that exactly, but because I know I'm gonna spend a little bit longer than that, and so I probably every other day. I don't know, I've done a couple times this week already, so maybe every day. Anywho, it's very fun though. If you want to watch somebody start to spin, it's not easy. It's very much not easy, and neither of them took a class, so I think they like went in kind of cold. And so I've been chatting with them both on DMs a lot to be like, here's my 2 cents, and so have a lot of other people. So I think like maybe they're getting mixed messaging. That's hard. I really loved having a teacher, what Maya made, who used to work at La Mercerie. She is the person that taught me to spin, and like being in a concentrated, like it was not a long class. I mean, we were all of 3 hours or something of class, but like there were only 3 of us. We got a lot of one-on-one attention. There was a lot of like theory and other things at the beginning too, which really was too much information for me to start, because I was like, oh, I'm not gonna remember any of that. But then going back, I was like, oh no, I did absorb a lot of that to apply as I actually understood what my hands were supposed to be doing. So there's just some information for you about fiber. Let's talk about books. I finished a couple books this week and I started a couple, as I do. So I think last week we talked a little bit about Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Faeries. So this book like was recommended to me on BookTube and other places, and actually I saw it many months ago. Somebody posted me or like posted a picture, and I commented. We talked about it at Powell Books, which is a really amazing bookstore in Portland. Someone I know was visiting there, and they took a picture of the Romantasy book wall, like all the recommendations, Powell's extra special recommendations for Romantasy or whatever. And I think it was the first time I saw that as like a genre title, and I was like, this is what I love. So I've been going through that picture and like picking some of them to add to my TBR also, because I trust Powell's. But then this came up on BookTube, and then also when our friend Bridget was visiting, she said that she recently read this and totally recommends. So Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Faeries. As I said, like, it's very fun. It's a professor of dryadology is what it's called in the book, but like fairies live among us, and they're like, it's well known. It is also more of a rural thing because they're more connected to nature, yada yada. But it's like from brownies and sprites, etc., to high fae, and she studies them generally speaking, and goes and has like any professor goes like kind of on a sabbatical trip or whatever to study, to write papers, to get funding, you know, all the things that academia is about. Anyway, she's an academic and she's awkward, and it's great. There were some fun twists and turns, like a big twist that was just like, wait, what? Towards the middle end, like the high point or whatever of the first one, and it was so good. You just really fall in love with all of the characters, and even though the narrator is a person who does not love other people, you fall in love with these characters. So that is the mark of a really great book. Okay. It's also kind of fun when you get to like really the perspective of like, this is a person writing a journal, and people are not very reliable narrators for facts. She is a fact person, so she tends to take that into consideration, but you do get her inner dialogue of like, I don't know why I did that, or like, this is how I perceived something, and like then she's told things later and she's like, what? And she records that too. Anyway, I very much enjoyed it. The other book that I read then was like right after, I was like, must read 2. 2 came out not that long ago, I think this year. It's called Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands. I know how to read. This one I also listened to on audio. So good. You get like trip 2 based on something that is talked about in book 1. You go to a different place in the world. They're in the Alps for this one. You get a totally different, very different rural village because of where they are situated and like what's happening, like why they're there. So I'm not going to give anything away, but the townsfolk are very, very different in this one. A little bit more about the characters on the expedition, because there's not just her. It's not just her in the other one either, but there's 4 people involved. And so there's a lot of, it's very interesting. There's a little bit more like scary stuff that happens, as in like she gets herself into a couple extra sticky situations, but I thought it was thrilling. I just think they're so good. And I like care about them, and I'm like, great characters, great world building too. And I definitely think they set you, so these are by Heather Fawcett, and I think Heather sets you up for more, and I hope more come out. Yeah, I definitely think that there's going to be more. Okay. The other book I read this week was, I needed a little romance after this also, because right after I finished these, I was like, gotta open Wheel of Time, which I did, and I'll talk about that in a second, but I spent several hours in the prologue, like I think more than an hour in the prologue, and I was like, I need to read something light and lovey. And this one was on also some recommendations. So this is called You with a View. It is by Jessica Joyce. It's so good. It's so good. It is about, I don't want to give too much away for this one either. I never want to give you much away because I want you to read these if you're interested. So for the most part, this is a book about a girl whose grandmother dies, and it was like she was her person, and she is struggling through grief, and she finds out a secret about her grandmother, and she wants to go to the conclusion to figure out what had happened. Like, what is this part of her grandmother's much younger life, like 20-year-old grandma, what happened and why? And so like a love story. So she's like diving into the past of a love story. There are some letters that you read, that's always fun. And it's like really her discovering herself again without her grandma. I mean, that's part of it. And like grief does a lot of things to people, and like it's her grieving fully, finally kind of like accepting that her grandma's gone, but also like the story you learn is sweet. The other characters that come into it because of the story are amazing. Ugh. It was really good. And a lot of this is like a road trip too. So you're like going through national parks in the southwestern US. So you hear about like some really nice scenery and some other things too. And it's really about the people, but yes. It was good. I thought it was really good. Great modern romance. Okay. So I am reading, it's called A Crown of Swords. Wheel of Time, book 7. It is, as I said, hefty. It's actually a little bit shorter than the other ones. Interestingly, I didn't like, because I read all of these on Audible, I was like, man, how long are these books? They're like 900 pages. None of them are over 1,000. So like, that's good. None of them were like under 700 though. 800, except for like the very first one, which is like a novella. I mean, it's a 0. It's a prequel. So, which I also did read. Oh, I guess there's a couple other prequels. Man, I did not know that. I don't think I'll read those. Maybe I will. Who knows? Going good so far. Everybody is recovering from the big thing that happened at the end of the last one, which was a big thing. With a lot of consequences for how our possibly going mad main character, but maybe the one that everything revolves around, Rand, is coping with these betrayals. So interesting. It's going. I would like to go back into also the rest of the Immortal Instruments, and I put a ton of stuff on TBR, like on my request for the library, and I got like a bunch of them yesterday. So I think I might have started reading another one. I don't remember what it is, so we'll talk about it next week because that's fine. And that's all for books. So let's chat a little bit about spring plans. So I kind of talked through some of my spring plans earlier in another episode, but we're truly in spring now, and I think it's more of the lead up. How do I get myself organized for summer? And I just want to talk through some of the things I've been thinking about as it relates to plans. You and I have projects I feel excited about. So I am going to not stop, but I'm going to pause or go down to 1 needle on spider knitting. So I do need to, I think because I have some tests and I have some secret things that you guys have not heard about, but will hear about in the imminent future, as I am still filming each week on them. But I have like 6 things on my needles. It feels like a lot to me. I feel like I'm not getting that much done on all of them. Plus I have this crochet thing, which is like a lot. I plan to, now that the sample is done, hooray, and I have some of these secret things are tests. They have deadlines. So I plan to push through quite a lot this week on those, and then get myself situated for more cast-ons, like what order of things. But here's what I'm thinking. So I do have a gift knit needle typically. I'm going to count that as I finished my sample. Now I'm going to go into, I am going to cast on this another 7th project because, you know, you can't hold me back. One of my secret tests will be done this week. And I'm going to try to push through a lot of the Sophie shawl so that I also don't have that on the needles, just so I don't have it as a lingering project either. Then I'll have the wood anemone. I'll have the Hayley test and the Scotch broom. Those are the things you know about. The Hayley test, I think, will take a back seat after this week. This week, I need to try it on before I put it away for even a couple of weeks. So, and I think it's probably better for me to truly put it away for 2 to 3 weeks, get a lot of other things done, pick it up and make a big progress when I have less things on my needles. So I will have the ghouls, the wood anemone to work through as my sweater. I don't think I'll be casting on another sweater for a couple of months. That's my intention. I have more sweaters than I have t-shirts. So I really do want to give myself the focus and time to make some tank tops. I don't have any tank tops. Make some t-shirts, make some things I want to like layer with cardigans. We do have cool-ish springs, so cardigans with tank tops is great. I may cast on, I have the Scotch broom. As soon as I'm done that, I may cast on another cardigan. And because I came up with a really great idea for some yarn I had that I got accidentally, I think we talked about this many months ago. Oh, it's way up here. You can't see it in the camera. I got some Tia Beanie, which is the color that one of the colors of my Instant Crush, accidentally from Erin. She dyed me a worsted lot. Instead of sending it back to her, I said I'd keep it. And it's a sweater quantity, and I wasn't sure what I was going to make with it, but I think I'm going to make a cow cardigan with it. And it's a cardigan from Claire Jackson, who is perfectly knotted. And I love the way it sits. I love the way it fits. Leslie's made 2 of them. She recently finished one, and I know I can get gauge in that worsted weight yarn, and I have enough of it. So I was like, maybe I'll just do that. And that'd be a really fun, it's like a bright colored sort of summer cardigan, even though it's a worsted weight cardigan. I get that. It's not really a summer cardigan, but, because we have a mild spring, like it's colder at night here for much of the year. So for layering. Okay, so tees and tanks. I went through my Make 12 and I don't have too many tees and tanks. I would like to, I think May, June, July. I really think that it'll be like the first week of May at some point, like maybe within the first like 10 days. Probably a little bit before that. I will set a deadline very shortly for myself. We will have a cal starting of Emily Curtis patterns. So she has 3 summer patterns, the stripy turtle tank. She has also shawls and other things, but the stripy turtle tank, the color tip tee, and the slanty stripes tank. I'll put all 3 of them. I'll be flashing pictures as I'm talking about them right now. And that's going to be our knit along. So I'll start sometime in May. If you would like to buy any of the patterns, I'm going to talk to Emily, let her know if she wants to be a part of it. But I think we'll probably do the same thing, that if you want to join an Instagram chat, or maybe we'll do it on Discord. I can make myself a Discord. Ooh, that would be crazy. You guys can let me know if you'd be more likely to join on Discord or Instagram, but it's just going to be a super casual, make one of these 3 patterns, and then we can take a picture. If you are attending flock, that'll be like the end day, will be Saturday flock day. We can make a decision if we want to take pictures together. If people are joining and they've joined the knit along, yeah, we can get a photo. Super casual. That's not a requirement. You can just join anyway if you want to wear whatever extra special top that you want to wear to flock. Very cool too. I have the stripy turtle tank on my Make 12. The color tip tee and the slanty stripes tank is not on my Make 12, but I am going to also cast on the color tip tee. I've got my sundial for the Iris Makes knit along that I'm going to hope to cast on this week also. And I'm not going to cast those other ones, those Emily Curtis patterns on, until I start our knit along. So I've got about a month to clear out some needles to get some tees and tanks started. I think I'd like a quick win on a tank top for myself as well. I don't know which one yet. And I have a couple of Sorry Nordland summer patterns that I'd really like to get started in a summer yarn. So summer makes, as we close out some of these test knits and other things, I do think I'm going to be a little bit picky about test knits this summer because I really want to make some of these things I have yarn for, and that I want to make the things. I did also, on a side note, for patterns I really want to use for cardigans, I did also buy the Mila cardigan pattern the other day, and so like between that and the cow, I think I prefer the cow cardigan right now just because of the brightness and the colors. And the Mila, I think I could, with it's this slatish purple here, I think I could wear that easily into the fall. Not that I couldn't the other one either. I mean, I would do whatever I want. But yeah, that's what I'm excited about right now. And then I think I do want to add one sweater in maybe a little bit later in the summer. I mean, and honestly, it would be great for spring too, but I know I wouldn't get it done in time, is I do think I want to make the Traveler hoodie, and I'm going to make it out of this sport weight yarn. And that would be so fun. It is a summery color, but like, it'd be great to have for next year too. A sweatshirt with a hood, a hoodie. A hoodie's fun. You know, and then depending on how this 3-ply goes, if I do a 3-ply over a couple of skeins or a couple different braids of yarn, I could be doing a t-shirt make of my own soon. I don't know. There's so many plans, but I think the concerted effort right now is like from now until probably August. And then August, I'll definitely start getting excited about more of my Make 12s for the summer. And I might sneak 1 or 2 of the Make 12 sweaters in. Like I'm gonna try to keep a needle be the Make 12. So my wood anemone, and it won't count for my make along, my wood anemone will become another sweater. But I have like a slip over. I have a couple other things on the Make 12 that are not sweaters, so maybe I'll do one of those instead, or I'll do a lightweight sweater, like a fingering weight sweater. Oh, or my moon set. That's probably the next thing that'll go on, honestly. There's just like not enough time. I need 70 hours every day so I can spend 60 of them knitting and then the rest playing with my baby. Not working. No, I'm very grateful I have a job where I can often knit at my desk during meetings. And that is really great. Just to sneak a few rows in there during the day, like, makes me feel super accomplished. Like, even if I don't get a lot done, I get like 1 repeat or 2 repeats of my Sophie shawl at this point because the rows are longer. That feels awesome. That feels like I don't have to work on it at night. So anywho, that's where I am. Some spring plans, some real thought. I kind of mapped out some of my needles. There are some things that I like put 2 options, and I have to just let this be like whatever's going to bring me joy. If I feel like, no, I must have a tank top to just like give me a quick win, I'll do that. If I'm feeling like, no, I could do a t-shirt, a fingering weight t-shirt, and I'm okay with like a little bit longer of a knit, then I will do that. So there we go. But I'm excited for all of these things. I just want all of them right now. And unfortunately, knitting is a long-term hobby. But like, look at all these colors. I think they're just like really inspiring me for some like fun and bright makes right now. And also, even though I do have that Barbie core yarn, the fiber I've been like looking at the most is like these 2. And these are the same braid. It's just so pretty. Okay. That's all for me, folks. I hope everybody is having a really great day, whatever you're watching this, weekend, and it's really chill for you and you're knitting on something amazing. If you have like the patterns you're most excited for this summer, that's what I want to know right now. Drop it below. Give me some extra ideas, because like, why not just keep growing this Ravelry list of things? If you ever want to see any of my bundles, they're on Ravelry. I'm always linked below. I have a tease. It's just called Tease, but it's Teas and Tanks bundle. But also I have my hopes and dreams for 2024, and I have been adding some more things to that, and that's bad. But also I just am doing it anyway. It's not just my Make 12, it's other things too. So you can go visit that anytime you'd like. Remember, I'm always looking at my friends, and all of you follow me on Instagram and getting inspiration from the world around us, and that's really fun. I hope if you want to join the CAL upcoming, please let me know which venue you think would be better if we do a chat. If you're like, no chat, let me know, no chat. That's also fine. We can just talk about it here. You can just post your pictures on Instagram. that's totally fine. Yeah. And at the end of this, fun photos together. That's the most fun part. So yeah, I don't know. Give me a like if you had fun watching this video. Subscribe if you have not. And I will chat with all of you next week. Bye.